Aloha!
And welcome to our live stream. Today's topic is 13 things that you can do for free on Oahu with your kids. Hawaii is a family place, family vacation. So today we will be talking about all the fun stuff with your kids
And
that
of
you can do.
course, whenever you talk about Hawaii and going with a family, we know how expensive that could be. So anything that you can get for free is a plus. So that's why we decided to do this video. We hope it actually helps you. And of course, the way we're going to do it is normally we give you all the information up front, and then later on, all of our guests, our new guests, and of course, the ones that keep coming back and supporting us, we thank you. We're going to be answering any questions or comments you guys might have. And don't forget to drop it in the comment section. If you do have a specific question, make sure you hashtag Q and then ask your question. This way we can find your questions much faster as we go through the list of all the comments.
Before we get started, let's do a quick audio and visual check. Let us know if you can see us clearly, if you can hear us fine. And after we finish with all the 13 fun things that you can do with kids on Oahu, we will answer your questions and we'll be happy to chat with you. If you have a question that you would like us to answer as priority, you can super chat us. And of course, don't be shy to click that thumb up button as well.
Yes, and of course, this is our live session. Normally we do regular vlogs, but let's just introduce ourselves for the new people who are coming on our channel. My name is Devon.
And I'm Irina.
And we are Just Be Out.
We create informative travel videos so you get the most out of your vacation. Okay. So, all right, we're all good. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
So let's start with number one. Free things to do with kids on Oahu. And obviously all these activities will depend on the age of the kids. We're not really specifying the age. You can just choose what fits your family situation.
And also keep in mind, in the description of this video, we have a few links that'll help you navigate, because of course things change. Sometimes they have these activities, sometimes they don't, sometimes they change the time schedules. So a lot of things depend. So don't take everything concrete. But again, we have descriptions in the link below, and then you could always find out. But for the most part, these things are definitely happening. Okay, let's get into number one. And we are headed to Royal Hawaiian Center. And the first one is lei making. Well, bracelet
making. They use a special Hawaiian technique, so it's not just any bracelet, and it's made out of grass, and they teach you the process of making, and the child needs to be a certain age. So again, you can go over to their website. We will left the direct link to the activities below. So it's Royal Hawaiian Events, and you can choose by events to see what time exactly it starts, and the seats are limited, so be sure you come early, at least 40 minutes before the class starts, to actually get your seat.
We've been through a situation where we tried to get there even 15-20 minutes and we thought we were super early. No way in hell. So basically the way it works, they have a couple tables, and they have some X amount of chairs around these tables, and when the chairs are all taken and occupied, first come, first serve. That is it. You can't even stand on the side and say, okay, I'm just going to participate and be on the side and do it. No, you have to be seated in a seat. If not, then you have to wait for the following week or what have you to reschedule the class.
So next activity that Royal Hawaiian Center offers
is lei making.
Yes, they do provide flowers for you, a basket with flowers, enough to make a lei for you. Well, one, you get a free lei after you're done making it, and it is pretty fun. The teacher, lei making teacher, teaches you some Hawaiian words. It is really nice, and of course she explains you the technique on how to make a lei. And yes, you you do have to, you see the needle, you have to work with the needle. So again, the child needs to have the certain age, I think maybe 7 or 8-year-old, to be able to participate in that class.
Or you can supervise, and that's what they normally say. If the child's a little bit on the younger end, but they still want to participate, as long as you're there, especially with lei making, as Irina said, in the needle, someone needs to supervise. But this class is really fun. And like Irina mentioned, there's a story behind it, and you get taught certain words and storytelling. They're so great at storytelling, and it's really cool to be in the class. Class lasts about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's like really no rush, and they walk you through the whole process. And when you're done, you get to keep the lei. Really awesome. So that's definitely a fun thing to do with your kids.
You can come early.
Yes, get there early, especially for this one also, because it is lei, right?
Yeah. So the next one is the same. You clicked the wrong one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. In the same Royal Hawaiian Center, we don't have the video for it, but you can find the class description on their website, which is hula dancing.
Oh yeah.
And they do have a specific one for the kids. It's called keiki. Keiki in Hawaiian means kids. Keiki hula dance class, and they do it right in the grove of the Royal Hawaiian Center, right in the middle, the grass area with the ponds. They have a teacher, and it's outdoors, and it's a lot of fun. Again, you can look at the schedule, and it's free at the schedule in the link in the description of our YouTube video. I know we're streaming on both YouTube and Facebook.
And one thing you do have to know about Royal Hawaiian Center, they do have lots of other activities as well. So our best advice to you is, again, click the link, go to their website, see whatever it is, the activities that they have. They even have ukulele lessons, right? So that's another one, ukulele lessons, and that's through Royal Hawaiian Center. And again, it's all free. So make sure you check the schedule, and you should be good to go with that. Okay.
So next one is a fish feeding at Alohilani. Alohilani Hotel has been recently renovated, and they have a 2-story gigantic fish tank. It is absolutely beautiful, and they offer fish feeding, and it's a lot of fun because it's not just a regular fish feeding. You actually have a diver going inside the tank to feed the fish, and you can watch it for free. It's a lot of fun with your kids. They do it every day at 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. Again, the link is in the description below. If you are there, you'll be walking around Waikiki all the time. You can just stop by at their front desk and ask about fish feeding times to confirm. And since we are there at Alohilani, they also offer tank talks. So it's a free program. It's pretty fun. So you have marine specialist come and tell you about the fish tank, about all the different species of fish, and it's an educational program that your kids can learn about the different fishes and everything that they see in the tank. And that program, again, you can verify with the receptionist at Alohilani Hotel, but as far as we know, they do it on Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 9 a.m. So if you actually even want to combine it, you can choose these days and then stay for 10:30 fish feeding.
Okay, we're good with that one? Okay, let's move on right along. The next one, since we're on the topic of fishes, right? So the next one is the Sheraton fish feeding. Now that one is interesting because, as Irina mentioned, with Alohilani, you're basically kind of standing there in front of the glass and watching the divers feed the fish. At Sheraton, you are the one feeding the koi fish. So they have a little pond with koi fishes, and what they do, they come around with these little bags, and they have the fish food, which are like little pellets. And they kind of just randomly just give people, and you can ask for it, and they give it to you, and you just stand over the pond, and you just kind of feed the koi fish, and they
Yeah,
just all like.
and it's a lot of fun
It
because
is.
I even saw like 2-year-old come and feed the fish, and there are ducks coming there too to eat, and they do it every day at 11 a.m.
Yep. So that's one you definitely don't want to miss. Again, it's a lot of fun, especially for kids, because the fishes are just so close to you. It's like you could almost touch them, but don't touch them. But again, you see them coming out the water and feeding. It's really cool. And the koi fishes they have there are beautiful, and they're so big. Irene and I would normally kind of just go there. They have rocking chairs, so you could just be there hanging out and relaxing while your kid is just enjoying feeding the fishes and the ducks. So that's definitely one to look out for.
And you do not have to be a guest to
Yes,
do that.
that's very important, because a lot of people would ask, "Oh, do I need to be a guest to do this?" And you don't. Okay, we're gonna go on to the next one. Okay, since we are at the Sheraton, let's go into the game area they have at Sheraton.
They have a really large open concept lobby, and they offer a lot of different games like foosballs. You see it's pool would be fun for teenagers. So again, these games are free, and they have different games that you can just walk. I don't know what's the name of this game. You can
I think it's like some type of like a shuffleboard game. If anybody knows in the description what that is, let us know.
Yeah, so you can just go to the lobby and play the games.
And it's cool because your kids could be playing the games, and there's so many different seating areas there. You could be relaxing, and your kid is not really out of sight. If you want to, there's a bar not too far away from there, so you can have a drink and relax and feed the koi fish while your kids are actually playing games. So that's pretty awesome, and it should be something you definitely do. And again, you don't have to be a guest. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Movie night, open air movie night.
Yes, there is movie night for free.
At Hilton Hawaiian Village. On this specific lawn, it's located next to their chapel, next to waterfalls. At what is it, dusk, right? At dusk, so
sunset.
Sunset, as soon as it begins getting darker, not completely dark. When it only starts getting darker, they already have the screen set up, and I'm pretty sure it's on Wednesday and Saturday, so you can again go and ask them. They don't have the exact time, so I would be there around maybe 7 p.m. And just hang out at the lawn. And it's cool that you can bring your own blanket, you can bring food, or maybe get delivery. And actually Hilton Hawaiian Village has a large food court, so you
Okay, let's move on, shall we? Where are we? Movie night. Okay, so the next one is turtle spotting.
There are a couple of spots where you can see turtles. One is on the North Shore, Laniakea Beach. Again, turtles are not guaranteed, but over there it's cool because they're laying right on the beach. So when they do come on the beach. The area is protected. There are some guards that rope off the area where turtles usually like to come and hang out. They always go to the same exact spot, and your kids can see turtles. It's pretty cool. If not, you can just walk along the shore and look into the water. And there are turtles, because there are a lot of rocks with seaweed. Turtles like to feed right there. Another spot is right in Waikiki. We've been telling you quite a lot. It is right next to the Outrigger Reef, this pier that you see that protruding out into the ocean. And the turtles again come right next to that concrete wall to feed. So your kids can see turtles right there in Waikiki. It's pretty cool.
And you'll know when there are people there, when there are turtles there, because on that wall you'll see a lot of people with their cameras out, and the turtles are like literally just a few feet away from you.
Again, don't touch the turtle.
Yeah, don't touch. I see a lot of people kind of trying to reach in the water because they're just like right there. Just don't do that. Just take photos, and you'll see them. And you'll notice a lot of these turtles have numbers on their backs. That's because they're being observed, they're being studied, and their breeding patterns. So again, you don't want to interfere with anything like that. So definitely that's something that you should do, because again, who don't want to see turtles, right? Coming to Hawaii. Okay, let's move into the next one. Beaches.
Kid-friendly beaches. I mean, it's an obvious thing. You're in Hawaii, yeah, you're going to take your kid to the beach, but there are some beaches that are more kids-friendly, like Ko'olina, for example. And Ko'olina is accessible for kids all year round, because they have 4 man-made lagoons and they are protected. The video is not playing.
I know. Well, the reason we chose beaches, obviously, because kids loves beaches, but also when we talk about kid-friendly beaches, they obviously have to have lifeguards. So that's number one, right? It's the safety. That way, if you're kind of away from your child and you turn your head for 1 second, we know these waves in Hawaii can be a little crazy. So a lot of these places that we are recommending, number one, don't have waves like that. And number two, have lifeguards. So there's always an extra pair of eyes looking out for your child. So the first one we did recommend was Ko'olina. It's beautiful there, and it's protected, as Irina mentioned, because it's in a cove.
Again, it's all year round. Next one, obviously Waikiki, but Waikiki also has some specific areas where there are less waves. So the wall right next to Kapahulu wall, there is a completely protected area where you can see there's pretty much, even though the waves do go over the wall, the waves are not as harsh, and it's like a natural pool. And Hilton Hawaiian Lagoon, obviously, is perfect. The next on the east side, Waimanalo Beach, because the water is really shallow and goes gently slopes. So it's easier. And Ala Moana Beach is always protected by the reef, so all year round there are barely any waves there.
Kailua Beach is also very nice.
It's on the east side also, but again, Waimanalo Beach and Kailua Beach, they're pretty much next to each other. It's on the east side, and it gets really windy. So just keep in mind that in winter time on the east side, it might have a pretty strong current.
And Hilton Hawaiian Lagoon is another one we highly recommend, and that one is really nice just because it's very shallow. There are no waves, and it's all protected, so everything it's controlled. So we highly recommend Hilton Hawaiian Lagoon as well for your child. So that's great. The next one would be Dole Pineapple.
It's area where you can actually see how pineapples grow, and it might be fun for your kids to see how they grow. But in the next video, we will be talking about paid activities for Dole as well, what you can do there, fun stuff if you're willing to pay a little bit. But as far as they have the yard where you can see how the pineapples grow, so it might be fun for your kids to see.
Did you guys know that a pineapple actually starts out as a flower? Actually, there's a lot of fruits that starts out at a flower. I didn't know that until I actually went to Dole Pineapple for the very first time, and I found out, and you see all the stages of how a pineapple grows. It's very fascinating, actually.
And they grow on the ground. So some might think that they grow on trees, but they grow on the ground.
Yep. So that's a nice thing to do. Okay.
And it is a pretty popular stop.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, let's go into the next one.
Not too many people know that Hawaii has a Hawaiian Railway Society, and they have a toy train museum. It is actually fascinating. I've never seen a toy train museum like this, and it's a little bit interactive. They have a few switches and few buttons that your kids can push, and especially boys and girls, I think it's fun to look at because it's very colorful and it has a lot of different scenes. So I think it's a really good option. It's located a little bit more on the west side, not too far from Koalina, by the way.
Right, if you are staying at the hotel there at the Disney.
Or if you're going to the beach.
Yes, that's a perfect place to just stop for a little bit and have your kids check it out. And it's cool. They have lights and everything. All the trains run through the track and through these little villages. It's really fascinating. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be that great. And when I couldn't leave, it was just, and the people that work there, they're so passionate about what they do. They could talk for hours about trains.
Yeah, it's their personal collection.
Yes, exactly. So that's really cool. Okay, and
also we in our next video we will be talking what else you can do that place if you're willing to spend just a little bit.
Okay, let's move on.
So as you can see here, they turn the lights off, and the little houses have lights. So it's pretty fascinating.
So cool. Okay, let's share the next video, and of course, this is the last one, correct? This is, last but not least,
fireworks. I think all kids like fireworks, and Hilton Hawaiian Village offer Friday fireworks every week. You can see them for free. It's pretty cool.
And make sure you get there a little bit early. I think the fireworks kicks off depending on when you go, right? Because obviously in the winter time it gets darker sooner, and in the summer it gets darker later. So they wait for it to be dark for them to start the fireworks. But you could always go there with your lawn chair and just kind of just hang out there and just wait for the fireworks to start. And of course, you want the prime location, and you're going to be jousting with a bunch of people to do that. So you can get there early and kind of just hang out and enjoy Hilton Hawaiian Village before the lagoon, before the fireworks actually starts. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Covered it all. We knocked that out pretty quick. So yeah, guys, that's it. Let me just kind of remove this out the way.
All right, so now we can go through comments and your questions. Again, remember, if you have a question, #Q. If you found this information useful, be sure to click the like button or a heart button below this video.
Yes. Hey, Deborah, how are you? Aloha.
Aloha.
Andrew says.
Andrew, welcome, Andrew.
Welcome.
Awesome photos from your cruise. Thank you for sending.
Yes, that was so cool.
That ship looks really, really cool and beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. He says most people like to drop their kids off at the pool. Yeah, that happens sometimes too. But kids sometimes love the beach because they love to play in the sand. So that's one thing the pool doesn't have. So yeah.
Yeah, and if you, speaking of like resorts, a lot of you asking us what would be the best resorts for kids. Obviously, Koalina has amazing pools for kids, and it's Disney. Yeah, it does get pretty pricey, and it's not as Disney as, let's say, Orlando Disney, right? But it still has a few characters. It has a little bit of decorations, and we did do Aulani Disney pros and cons, and we did a full walkthrough. So if you're considering, you can take a look at that video. And in Waikiki, I would say Hilton Hawaiian Village is pretty good for kids because they do have a lot of classes also that your programs that your kids can participate, like lei making, also dance classes and Hawaiian games also, and they do have a specialized pool for kids with slides, so I think that's pretty cool. And Sheraton also has a nice pool with a little slide for the kids, and they also have, for guests specifically, they also have specialty programs and classes.
TUW says flying there tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Safe
That is
flight to
awesome.
you.
Yes. Hope you enjoy your trip. I'm sure you will. Sweets and Lobby says, do they still do underwater birthday card? I'm assuming you were talking about Alohilani, because if there's divers, that's the only way you would do that.
I've
we were
never
talking
heard
about.
of that, but that's very interesting.
That's interesting. We're gonna have to look into that.
Send us more information. What exactly you're talking about? Is it Alohilani? And what kind of birthday card? I'm assuming you actually ordered that.
Yeah. She says we are staying at the Hilton Village Lagoon Tower. We're taking our 3-year-old and our 9-year-old. So this is great information. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome too. And they will have a really good time. Make sure you do go to the guest services and ask for the program, for everything that they offer for kids, because they do have a lot of activities. And make sure you do not miss our next video, because in our next video we will be talking about paid activities that you can do with your kids on Oahu.
And it won't really break the bank. Some of them are on the higher level, but we have a lot of good ones that you'd be surprised the things that you can do in Hawaii that you wouldn't even think you'd be able to do there. So,
and of course, some of those things you will not find anywhere else, because as we're preparing for this video, we do see what other people are talking about, and most people talk about the same things, but we do have some very interesting things for you.
They're definitely unique. And keep in mind, TUW, the Hilton Hawaiian Village has lots of pools, and a lot of them are hidden. They're not like, it's not just the lagoon or not the main pool that you might see, one of their biggest pool. They have pools behind the buildings, through alleys. Make sure you figure out where all the pools are and go to each one of them, because each and every one of them are different and unique in their own way. So make sure you do that. Ira says, do they have free parking? Not sure what you were referring to. If you could let us know.
But nowhere they have free parking is very...
I mean, if you go to Ko'olina Beach, if that's one of the beaches you're talking about, there's free parking there. I don't know where else. So any of the beaches that we mentioned, those are, any beach in Hawaii that has lifeguards are considered like state beaches / parks. So they will have a lifeguard, they will have restroom, they will have changing areas. It's pretty much the beach is well equipped. But if it's not a state park, then it won't have lifeguards, or it probably won't even have bathrooms.
But you can look at our ultimate beach tour for Hawaii, and where we reviewed over 22 beaches, and by 10 criteria, and we included if it has parking or not. But if you're talking about hotels, all hotels have paid parking. But if some places offer a few hour parking validation if you eat in their restaurants. So and some have like, for example, International Marketplace has parking which is just a few dollars per hour, so you can park there and it's not that expensive.
Hey, Rachel from Sydney. Gee, we have to go back to Australia.
Yes.
It's on our list to go back to Australia. It's just like,
yeah, it was way too short.
Yeah, it was. And we were a little bit under the weather when we were there as well. So, well, I was at least. So we have to go back and redo it. Aloha, Sheila. Sheila also has a question.
Aloha.
Sheila asks, I heard tipping, giving gratuities, is quite common in Hawaii. Could you please give any idea on how much to give and in what instance? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Hawaii is no different than any place else in the States. If you get good service, you could do the 10, the 15, the 20%, up to 20%.
I don't think anybody does 10 anymore.
Well, no, but it ranges, because even on some receipts, it says like, this is how much it would be if you tip 10. This is how much it would be at 15. So that's normally the range, right? From the low to the high. So anywhere between 10 and 15% is fine and acceptable. So there's no difference. Then I'm not sure where you're coming from.
But if you are talking about tours, if you have a tour guide and you had an awesome time, you can give them again, depending on how much your tour was and how long, maybe $5, $10, or $20. It again depending on your generosity.
So anybody else has any other questions, make sure you hashtag Q. I think I went through them already. Just
Chris says that Alohilani Beach has free parking.
And actually, I think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, Ala Moana actually has the biggest parking
that we know
of when it comes to a beach. There's no other beach that you can go to that has as much parking. But I think also because with Ala Moana Beach, they do a lot of events there. They do the lantern thing. They do concerts there. So, I guess that's because of the different activities they do. That's the reason, and events. That's the reason why the parking facility is massive. And they just redid it just before we left Hawaii. They repaved and redid the entire parking lot. So it's really nice now. They even do events in the parking lot. Like we see people go there and they roller skates on certain, I think like on Thursday nights, everyone gets together and it's just a bunch of people roller skating in the parking lot and stuff. It's really, really cool. Chris says tipping is appreciated but not mandatory.
Like anywhere in the US, anywhere in the world, I think it's pretty much tips are not mandatory.
Yeah, I had to get used to that when we were in Europe because we're so used to tipping, and then there's certain places where that's not even a thing. So yeah. Hey, Mike, aloha.
Mike, welcome. How are you feeling?
So let's see. Any other questions, guys? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered it all here. So we'll keep this one short and sweet. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this free things to do with kids. Remember, next week on Saturday, we are bringing you more things to do with kids, except they will be paid from low cost until whatever it costs.
Yeah.
We'll try to give you a bulk price, but again, prices always change. So we will leave the links for whatever you can get the updated price.
And keep in mind, if you found value in this video, if you can just please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. It'll help reach other people who are looking for videos like this, especially when you're going to Hawaii. All the information you can get is gold. So we thank you guys, and we will see you again next week with paid things to do with kids.
And remember, we're still publishing our Alaska video. So our next video is coming when? Monday. So be sure to check back and take a look at that video. And if you have any questions, again, just leave the comments and we'll be sure to answer you. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with you live, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers.